Hey everybody, here we go. All right. Well, the week that we just had last week, I mean, it started out with the Dow in the red, and the bond yields were up, and the Euro stocks healthcare was up. WTI Brent crude down slightly. Gold, silver, copper were down. In the pre-market, the Turkish central bank with a new head with 65% inflation rate. The Nasdaq was down, and Nikkei was up. The Hang Seng was down. The S&P was down. Natural gas was up. Amazon Meta was down. Disney, Boeing, and Micron, they were down. All right. The dollar was up. Putin was visiting Turkey next Monday. So tomorrow. All right. Taiwan Semiconductors at 11%. 10 cent up. Bitcoin over 43,000. The Fed can be prudent. Real income is going up 2%. Commercial and multifamily real estate seeing some exposure as a laggard in the bank industry regionally. The Shanghai Composite is down. Australian S&P down. The FTSE 100 is up. DAX is Germany's down. The IBEX in Spain is down. And the CAC was down. And another one, Italy was up. Italian FTSE was up. And another one was, in the Swiss. And the Swiss was up. All right, Apple's slow growth with 28%, with 28 future price earning ratio. All right, California auto rate is up. State insurance is up in California as it flooded. All right, the CAC and the DAX moved to the upside as the day went on. March rate cuts, they were a fleeting picture. Rally around cyclical tailwinds. Semiconductors companies are performing better than banks. Disclosures in AI and fair living wages. China vows to save its stock market, which is failing. Investors are not convinced. Baby tech startup Astra Medical is shutting down. Disney and Amazon could beat Netflix in the streaming wars. Cubicles are coming back. Trump scares Chinese investors as much as the Chinese economy. The Fed rings the alarm on debt, says federal spending is unsustainable. Frozen Russian funds could help rebuild Ukraine under new Western policy. Walmart wants employees to own more shares of the company. Nvidia stock price surge continues ahead of fourth quarter earnings. And the stock market strengthens as the Fed stops worrying about jobs. And there's a lot of good stuff happening in the economy. All right, that's how it started. Now, as the next day came ahead, the majors were in the red. All right, oil sinking, China under pressure, equities shares buybacks in France. All right, Treasury sell-off. Younger people are more into cash than the equities. Nvidia and Cisco are building large language models. IEA says Japan's power grid for data centers will be a lot of power for AI and data with powerful tools and tool makers will have a demand spike, and it'll be a lot of pressure on the grid. Consumer education with AI will see an increase in volume. Taiwan Semi will add about 20 billion to Japan's market. $500 billion a year in intellectual property theft right now. Jeff Bezos is only $5 billion away from being richer than Elon. Boomers are approaching peak burden on the economy. Top U.S. Treasury officials will travel to China to ease economic tensions. Oversupply has um, kept prices putting pressure to raise prices. Private equity owned firms are issuing more junk debt to pay investors. Crypto miners use as much electricity as all of Australia did last year. Job markets a strength, hurting housing affordability as mortgage rate rises. Viral moment for AI tools reached 2.5 million in seed funding. The S&P 500 hovers below 5,000. Workers, job seekers should be adaptable with Chat GDP, AI, RTO, and other workplace changes. Influencers credit Slack for being a goldmine for brand deals. Credit bubble has formed in the U.S. economy as debt mounts, and the you only live once spending. Blackstone is using AI to win over more insurance clients, and Beijing grapples with worsening deflation problems, and oil would be at 150 a barrel if India didn't trade with Russia. And Aldi is testing a rival version of Amazon's Just Walk Out tech. And the next day, the stock market outlook is nowhere near the 1999 peak valuation. Stock rose after a revision to the consumer price index data. Sam Altman needs trillions to supercharge chip productions. The S&P cracked 5,000, but stellar returns may not continue. Savings and investment strategies help more people become millionaires. Futures are up ahead of key inflation data. Climate tech startups Concrete for Change and Metris Energy raised $7 million. Spirit CEO says that the airline has a plan to become profitable. Again, Holdbar is a startup that exits a stealth fundraiser with $3.5 million. All right, economists slash rate cut predictions, and because of this good economy, high quality and cash flow is the best stock market investment strategy. Disney's Bob Iger and Nelson Peltz's Trian are still sparring. Walmart and Target gained ground on Costco and customer satisfaction. Millenniums has hired a top Jane Street trader. Mortgage payments surged back near all-time high as a Fed rates stay. Commercial real estate investment fell to the lowest since 2012 last year, and Neuralink competition includes more advanced computer devices, brain computer devices. Shopify raises price for its Plus subscription. Amazon's One Medical has closed several corporate offices. Cube and Rentec are leading the pack starting in 2024. Apple's reportedly has a prototype of a folding iPhone, and cocoa prices have doubled under the supply crunch. And Latino-focused media company Sonoro is planning to build an intellectual property machine. The S&P keeps crushing record highs. Gen Z founder is building this social media platform called Kindred to combat loneliness. And the next day, Brent crude went up, natural gas went down, West Texas Intermediate went up, the NASDAQ was up, all the majors were up, Disney was up, the S&P closed over 5,000. Wharton Professor Siegel, the current market not worse than 1999 with 5 to 8% upside. Top heavy concentration over 3 to 5 years, and would see 78% return with opportunities on the other side. Economic strength, leaning to strong earnings, no longer against the Fed. Momentum is coming back. There's no need for the Fed to lower rates. AI will not be concentrated to chip makers. It took 16 years for NVIDIA to double from $4. Earnings disappointment could derail momentum in the Magnificent Seven. ARM is poised to leverage AI optimism. Wells Fargo said PayPal will turn it around, which is not a small feat. The DAX in Germany was up. Snap was down. O'Reilly was down. Affirm went up 20% this week. The XLI looking at making new highs. Core credit names downgrading Air Max, American Express, and upgrades Discover. All right, Epic Games brings Disney into the fold with Fortnite World. The equity market strength and stay diversified to buy good yields and stay flexible. Well, free cash flow is a metric for valuation for stocks. PayPal sees an account slowdown. Nelson Peltz hasn't performed to shareholders. Discount stores and consumer prices drop in the Lunar New Year with a gauge on sentiment in China. The Taylor Swift move on Disney Plus. A slowdown performing bankers are getting zero bonuses this year. BlackRock is shaking up leadership of financial market advisory. Steroid Olympics may let athletes use Apple's Vision Pro. The Europe energy crisis is still not over. NVIDIA's stock price valuation is the same as the entire Chinese stock market. Mexico surpasses China as U.S. biggest trade partner, and China's Taiwan tensions pose a risk to the Magnificent Seven. And how do we end on Friday? Well, the UK FTSE was down, the CAC around and France is down, the DAX in Germany was down, Brent crude was up, WTI was up, natural gas was down, industrials were down, S&P was up, and NASDAQ was up. Semiconductors were at 52-week high. Simon Property leader in REITs. Natural gas sinks to a 3-year low. Multi-million-dollar real estate lister in NYC releases a book on branding. China continues to struggle as Alibaba drags the index. Some more think NVIDIA is overpriced. The Dow is looking to break a 3-day win streak. The S&P 500 heads for a record, and it takes 2 days to drop the booking outlook. Companies being more upfront about missing targets. The NASDAQ is looking at a 52-week high. Building a wireless chip with Ericsson as custom chips are on the rise. Plus, Jeff Bezos gets closer to the world's richest man as he sells $2 billion in stocks. Griselda Blanco's family settles a lawsuit against Netflix. Tech stocks, huge gains aren't a new .com bubble. Grand Theft Auto 6 boosts Netflix games. Right. Granum, Gunlock, Rosenberg, Schilling, they warn stocks in recession risk. Taylor Swift, fashion and street style is a strategy. The housing market could see a 5% jump in the spring buying rush. SoftBank's Masayoshi Son is ready to go all in on AI. China's stock market means foreign traders will be leaving for good. The Vision Pro is the second best impressive tech next to the iPhone, says Sam Altman. And Sam also wants $7 trillion, which is more than the U.S. federal budget for OpenAI. NVIDIA wants to work with big tech to design custom AI chips. S&P 500 sales past 5,000 as inflation cools. Bitcoin rebound could keep a $100,000 price target in 2024. Zen, the smokeless tobacco, is seeing a huge increase in the U.S. sales. A real estate crisis could trigger the Fed's first rate cut. So that's tonight. It's Monday on the East Coast. So 4.5 hours till 4 hours till Street Signs, 5 hours till Worldwide Exchange, 6 hours till Squawk Box, and see you on Money Watch.